opportunity which he felt was, well, it would have made him and me probably quite rich, but he turned him down.
Yeah.
Because Morris originally did push bikes and motorcycles around London. And my grandfather, he had a small motor business which was selling cars and bikes in Putney and just round the corner, and they became quite good friends. And William Morris said to me one day, he said, "Will you mind my shop for about a month, because I'm going to go to my cousin in Detroit, America."
Yeah.
So he went on one of the other boats over there for a month, and he came back absolutely full of it, and he said, "Look," he said, "they're making cars," because up until then they only made cars for the rich.
Yeah.
You know, they were just big. Yeah. Well, my grandfather trained with a car called Harold Johnson Company in Scotland, where they made everything in the factory, and it could only be a rich man that could afford a bloody car.
Yeah.
So William Morris came back, he said, "Look," he said, "they're making cars over there. He's just got people in the virtually blokes in the ordinary chaps could buy one in the street." He said, "They're simple, they're not fancy, but," he said, "they'll sell." He said, "They make cars," he said, "instead of those that are tied," he said, "they make them on a conveyor belt, you know, with them going along."
Yeah.
And I reckon that we could, or if I get a small warehouse and premises, I'll sell all my shops. I can make about 20 cars a week with doing it. And he said, we'll build them, we'll make them cheaper by getting spares and then assemble them.
Yeah.
And he said to her, "Will you come in with me?" And Grandad thought about it, and he thought, what's going to happen if you can't get your starter motors or your tank, or you can't get this? You'll have to lay your blokes off, you won't complete the cars, you won't make the orders, it'll fail. It was depression time, he didn't risk it.
Yeah.
And he turned him down, and of course his business then failed, and William Morris went on, and he said to me, you know, by then he'd moved on, he'd got the place at Cowley, and he started making the cars, and he had the success, and he didn't. So it was my granddad's failure of life. You know, he was terribly sad because.
It's odd. I remember reading something, and they were saying that William Morris was writing a letter to the guys in Brighton complaining about the build quality of, you know, some components he's getting.
That's
but
right.
also saying that it meant that basically he got the goods in quick enough, because he had 36 days credit.
That's right.
He could actually sell the car before he actually settled the business.
That was it.
You know,
That's my grandfather said that it was too risky to do it on the limited basis of which he wanted, because he'd had to sell, because his business was over the shop, the flat with my grandma. It was his flat. You know, if he lost it, he'd have lost everything. Yes. And he didn't risk it.
He couldn't afford it.
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. I suppose there was a sort of thing like in the 30s. Okay, you know.
Yeah, well,
being down on your your uppers was not even having the uppers.
I mean, what happened was my granddad he lost his shop and everything. He got an ulcer.
So what was his shop?
He had a small shop at Dawson Knight's Bun, which was his name, and he sold again motorcycles, cars, and he kept driving down. If somebody wanted one of these Harold Johnson cars from Dumfries, Scotland, he would go up on the train, and there was no car deliveries in those days, and he'd drive the car down for a car. Yeah, ridiculous. But that's how it worked in those days.
Because the numbers were so small.
That's right. That's it. And then he had to he sold everything. He just cleared everything, and he lost his home and everything. It all went. They went to my great-grandparents for Christmas in 1930, and then he had to virtually, my mum and grandma had to live at Eastbourne with an aunt for a few months while he got a job as a rep, and then he had to start all over again. He ended up at Lancey with a nice little bungalow at the end, and he was always very disappointed that the one chance that he had in life he didn't take.
Well, you know.
So whenever I see a Morris, it always reminds me of that. You know. Nice to talk.
Have a good day.